she is blackmailing Trump. Hours after that, Trump comes and suddenly they find a letter exonerating Trump.
This is for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Hello, and welcome to the Think Tank, where we use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, and just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased logical conclusions. We're here to talk about the ongoing saga of the Epstein files and Donald Trump. Critical thinking is going to be a necessary part of today's discussion as we bring up all of the things that are currently surrounded in the Epstein files. The unredacted, the Epstein files were requested to be unredacted by the Democrats, where it shows Trump attacking, physically and sexually assaulting a 9-year-old. Ghislaine Maxwell said she pled the fifth when she was requested to speak to Congress when she was subpoenaed. She said, even though she testified, she gave Todd Blanche, Trump's attorney, anything he wanted, gave him clear Trump's name in order to get taken out of a prison where she was at and put into a nice cozy cell in Texas. So she went from a maximum prison cell to a cell with 4 beds, and she gets Uber and Uber Eats any time of day and night, and she freaking has a puppy, and she just gets treated like a queen. The guards are afraid of her because of her closeness to Trump, or whatever she has. She says she will not testify before Congress unless she's pardoned or she's given clemency, to quote her exactly. So she straight up was like, yo, Trump, you need to get out. You need to get this from over your head. I'll do it, but you gotta let me go. That's what she said. FBI took Epstein suicide tapes. That's been proven. The FBI has Epstein suicide tapes. That the suicide of Epstein occurred under Donald Trump's regime in Trump 1.0. And the FBI, his FBI, has those tapes. They had the tapes. He's had the tapes of what happened to Epstein all along, and they would not release them. Trump was mentioned in the Epstein files 38,000 times in 5,000 files, over 38,000 times. That's a remarkable amount of times. I have not been able to go through all of them as of yet. It's just too many files, but I'm still working on it. Epstein was never a member of Mar-a-Lago, so when Trump said he kicked Epstein out, he was lying because Epstein was never a member. He was always a guest of Donald Trump's. And Epstein kept coming, so even though he said he kicked him out, he still invited him. Lutnick said that they were all guilty and everybody that was associated with Epstein was culpable, and that Epstein had tapes of them, and that's why he was able to get the money he got and had the influence that he had. He said Lutnick said that everybody dealing with Epstein was culpable. Foreign nations are launching investigations and getting rid of their heads of state based on the things found in these files. And miraculously, with all of this, something surfaced, but I'll allow my co-host to just release that, and then we'll do a quick dive. So with no further ado, these are the things that we're going to discuss. The Honorable Dion Powell. And Dion?
Hey, family, I'm District Leader Dion Powell of the Bronx Conservative Party. America First, borderline America Only, 80-20 Trumpster, if you want to call it that. Consultant, strategist, and community leader here. All right, so as they say, let's get into it. If I can share my screen, we're going to talk about Epstein a lot today, but I just want to highlight a few features here. So we're going to play in our little sandbox. Now, this is our usual situation. but I just want to make sure everybody knows what I'm going here. So this is the analysis we got today from Brown News. Coverage of unsealed Epstein file reveals stark partisan divides. Left-leaning outlets emphasize Trump's allegedly aware status regarding sexual desire for minor girls, framing his statements as the confession revealed, and highlighting how reports undercut his denials with terms like explosive new report. Conversely, right-leaning narratives portray Trump positively, focused on a bombshell court doc showing he proactively called police, using phrases like, "thank goodness you're stopping him," and stressing the 2006 timing, long before his foray into politics. Center coverage, while noting Trump bashed Epstein, primary reports attributed statements. All sides agree Trump called police in 2006, saying everyone knew and calling Maxwell evil, yet diverge on the implications for his current political standing. What does that mean? Well, to me, with our analysis here, we're getting more media who are reporting news more to the right because currently, to the present day, more information is coming out that Trump actually worked with police in 2006 to get rid of Epstein. And it is my belief that the reason why Trump tried to hide this information after all these years is because he didn't want to reveal himself as a snitch, which actually led to Epstein's convictions. So that's the information I like to provide for our viewers.
That is an interesting conclusion to draw. A theory, a thesis, a very weird way to look at it, but I can understand coming from your side how your hero might have suddenly, after all this time, found something to exonerate himself and it might look good to you. So instead of combating that, I will use the data points that I utilize to draw my critical analysis so that my viewers, so that our viewers can understand how I came to the conclusions that I drew. And with no further ado, I bring you the Department of Justice's dump on the Epstein library. What is this website? This is the Department of Justice Epstein search. This is where you go to find every single file. See here, justice.gov/Epstein/search. And you can find everything that the Department of Justice released. And you can enter the term Trump, and you'll see there's over 4,000 results. Clinton was mentioned 42 times here, or 47 times of Trump. Trump versus Clinton versus Trump versus Clinton. Trump 39 times. Johnson, Bloomberg, Trump, Clinton, Johnson, Steen, Trump, Trump, Clinton, Trump, 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 Clinton, Johnson, Steen, Trump, Trump, Clinton. What are some of the things? Clinton, Trump, 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 Clinton, Trump, 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 Trump,
That
Trump,
proves
Trump,
nothing.
Trump, Trump, Clinton, Clinton, Trump, 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 Trump. He was mentioned a few times. What are some of the things that were said? No other one, Hillary, turning our backs on Israel. Wonder what's that about? Trump, Clinton, and Israel. Trump and his adult children seeking 2.8 million film and television. Trump made cameo appearances in many films. All right. That's in Epstein files. That's interesting. Trump speaks to automobile. Trump is the only modern U.S. president. Trump and wanted to meet him. Trump, unknown man approached and offered to introduce her to Trump. Trump would auction them. That's talking about minors, by the way. Trump, he measured the children's vulva and vaginas by entering a finger in Junior and Ivanka. This is Trump with measuring children's vulva. That's their pee hole. This is Trump. This is the Department of Justice's release on Donald Trump. He was measuring children's vulva. This is currently, right now, as we speak, on the Department of Justice website. So, Trump child rape claim for $100 million denied by Trump attorney. Trump denied Harf's claims, but she withdrew her suit after Trump settled the dispute with her husband and settled the dispute for sexual assault, right? So, looking at the data points from the Department of Justice's website, not word of mouth, not me saying it and you got to figure out if it's true or not, by the Department of Justice's website, the allegations toward Trump are horrible. A letter coming out now saying, "Oh no, he reported Epstein, he wasn't involved," and Donald Trump saying, "Oh, it was the evil Ghislaine Maxwell who is currently blackmailing him for a pardon," is absurd. No reasonable person would believe, with the evidence provided, of course, and of course not compromised in to Trump so hard they can't look through a broad spectrum and see the reality, the shared reality versus the bubble reality on either side, that this letter was legitimate. Because you know what I did not find so far in the 38,000 files that Trump has when Trump has mentioned 4,000 something times? A letter where he called the police reporting Epstein.
Because that's new. That came out like yesterday, I think.
It cannot have come out from the Epstein files yesterday because it was not in the Epstein files. So where did this thing come from?
More Epstein files are being released to the public. That's the point.
So where did this thing come from? Some undisclosed police officer?
This is in 2006. Let's see.
Where did it come from? Yes, I could manufacture a letter with AI saying that I made a report. Where did the letter come from? Where did corroborate?
Remember, this stuff, they're still combing through these files. For example,
not in the files.
All this stuff 16 hours ago, 17
Yes, he came up with a letter. He magically came up with a letter
ago. Yeah, all this came out yesterday.
I want the viewers to understand that this letter magically surfaced.
Files released. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. 10 hours ago, NBC News. All this stuff came out yesterday. They just combed through some more information and they released it to the public. Like, for example, these two guys, Matzi and Rokana, they all found this stuff yesterday. And this is what came out to the public. So this is ongoing, my friend. So that is the point. And another point that I want to highlight too is that now that this information has come out, less and less, that's why we have this wonderful partnership with Ground News, less and less left-leaning media is being reported this information, and now more media is coming over to the right providing information. So normally the left puts a lot of Epstein information out, but as of yesterday, it's getting less and less, and we're getting more right-stream media. So I find that very telling, my friend, that the left has realized it doesn't have much information here to destroy and take down Trump.
So here's what happened. Hours after Ghislaine Maxwell pled the fifth and refused to talk to Congress. By the way, plead the fifth means if she speaks, she will implicate herself. That means she'll be guilty. She had to be guilty of something to plead the fifth.
No, not really.
Hours after she pleads the fifth, she tells Congress that she will not testify unless Trump pardons her. She is blackmailing Trump. Hours after that, Trump comes and suddenly they find a letter exonerating Trump. He made all he did, he called the police on Epstein because Epstein was an evil man. While all of those things are in the Epstein file about him. The sudden finding of this letter seems absurd. That is the only word in the English language that accurately describes what just happened. Absurd. Hey everybody, this is your boy Leo. You know me. I've been doing commercials for 15 years. Television commercials, radio ads, billboards. Now, I'm trying to step it into the big leagues. I want to be an independent filmmaker. I've got the degrees, I've got the experience, and I need your help to make my first independent film, Garot. So Garot is Boys in the Hood meets Clue. So these dudes from Brooklyn is trying to buy their drugs to supply the hood. So they go to the mafia stronghold and they purchase their drugs, but one of them turns up dead. And now there's a race to find out who did it. The Godfather's going to send in his hit squad, Squadra Assassina, to take them out. They don't figure out who did it because somebody died on his turf and he's not happy and he can't have stuff like that happening in his business. So please, if you want to show support, my Kickstarter campaign is down in the description box. Absurd. It is insane to believe that Donald Trump's team suddenly found this letter that exonerated Trump. Why didn't Trump tell his team that this letter existed while all these implications were coming out about him? Why would Trump report him when, if his name is coming up thousands of times, well, he's done thousands of horrific acts, but he made a phone call? Yeah, this dude, yo, you got to check him out. He's terrible.
That's what happened in 2006. He was probably a part of an entire investigation to take down.
What he was
Jeffrey
investigating
Epstein.
was 13-year-old vulvas. He was investigating 9-year-olds with his member. That's what the reports say. I just showed it to you from the Department of Justice itself. This is not hearsay. This isn't CNN, the left-leaning. This isn't me trying to. This is the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi, who's up his butt. Trump's Department of Justice released this about Trump, and suddenly they found a file that exonerates him. Ridiculous. Absurd is the only word that describes it, but ridiculous I'll use.
You don't want to see the information there. You're trying to find what you want, and that's not.
I'm not trying to find what I want. I literally typed in his name, and that's what came up. I literally typed in his name, and that's what came up. I didn't search through, just so you understand, because you got to understand how serious this is, right? So remember, this is the Department of Justice website, right? I typed in Trump's name, right? This is page 1. You type in Trump's name, and this is page 1. This is not me trying to search to try and destroy Donald Trump. This isn't me trying to be left-leaning. You type in Trump's name, and that's what comes up on page 1 of the Department of Justice's website.
That means nothing, proves nothing, other than he's just in there a lot of times, like Bill Clinton.
But the things mentioned about him, measuring 13-year-old vulvas, raping 9-year-old children, is what comes up.
Well, I don't think grape is in there with Trump, but okay.
I'm sorry?
I don't think grape and Trump are interconnected in there, but okay.
I just showed it to you. Okay, let's one more time for the audience. Like I didn't show it. Let's page 1. Trump child rape claim $400 million denied. He was denied that one. Trump and Jeffrey Epstein denied Hawk's claims, but she withdrew her suit after Trump settled. Trump and Epstein. This is what's on the Department of Justice's website on page 1. When you type in Trump's name, Trump sexually assaulting children is the first thing that pops up. I'm just saying that's what it is. Now, you can defend it, you can do what you want, but that's what happens when you type Trump's name into the Department of Justice's website. Not no letter exonerating him. You would think that they would have updated it and put the letter there. But that's not what's there. I can't control that. I'm saying that the Department of Justice doesn't have that letter on their website because maybe it wasn't in the files. But anyway.
Well, I'm saying that according to our partners at the Ground News, that the mainstream media has suppressed the information that recently came out yesterday about the 2006 cooperation with Trump and law enforcement to expose Epstein and Maxwell. So that's what I'm trying to put out there. Thank God for Ground News.
I understand that. You know who else is suppressing it? According to what I just found, the Department of Justice. So either the Department of Justice is suppressing it or someone's lying. But I'm sure they'll figure out that they should put it on the website eventually and make it look like it's part of the files. I'm
Well,
sure that'll
remember,
happen
there's
within the next
millions of
week.
these things. They still have to redact and comb through it real time. And that's what's happening.
Well, this is a think tank. I implore you to use your critical thinking skills, look at the evidence presented, and draw your own natural conclusions. Dion, is there any closing statements?
This is why we are the media, and now so are you. So make sure you make the algorithm pay attention to all of us by sharing our content and adding your own.
All right, thank you very much. This is Leon Dion signing out.